some hellos to our special guests, Matt the Rockin' Crocheter and Fiber Jazz Rebecca.
Right there.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing, Mara?
Hey, welcome.
And I know we had talked, but for my subscribers, I am streaming this to my channel, so you can see either both on Mara's channel or my channel. If you want to leave comments, come to Mara's channel, because then we'll see the comments.
Actually, the comments from yours will show up, and I
Will
can
show
click
up?
on them. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
cool.
like when people start commenting, in fact, I think Samantha is over on your channel, and so that is
How you doing, Samantha?
from Samantha. Yeah. So I'll be able to see who's on my channel, and there's the hello from Samantha on my channel. All right. So thank you so much. If you guys have more than one device and you want to watch us on both channels, that would be great. Just to let you guys know, on my channel, I will be dropping both Matt and Rebecca's link, and so you can go over there to Matt the Rockin' Crocheter. And actually, if you type in, well, I wonder, like, if you are, I'm not sure how it works on your side, what you're seeing, but I was going to say, if you typed in mindful, it would drop it now, but it'll, within 10 minutes, it'll come on. But I am seeing comments like Fiber Jazz Rebecca, there she is. And Cecilia Talent. Yeah, so good. It's good. It looks to me, Carmen Sanchez is there, and Sunflowers. Everybody's finding their way over to your channel. So that's awesome.
Cool.
Well, Matt and Rebecca joined me today. I'd like for people who may not know you until, coming through my channel, you guys, if you don't mind telling a little bit about yourself and how you got started in YouTube, and then we'll work our way to talking about Centros and maybe Addies and other knitting machines.
As far as, I started as far as with my fiber journey, I started in when we were all home for almost a whole year. I started then, and I started knitting, and then I started watching some of the creators, because then I was just doing predominantly knitting, and I watched some of the creators that were crocheting, and it kind of fascinated me. So then, within the last year, I picked up crocheting, and I love it a lot more than I do knitting. just because it's easier to frog stuff. It works up a lot faster. Knitting is really good for some things, but crocheting to me now is a lot more fun. I really enjoy it, but I do both. And then since we have a lot of grandkids running around, I thought, wow, I want to try out like a Sentro, like to make hats and scarves and like that kind of stuff. And we got one, and our grandkids, whenever we come, they ask us, where's my hat? Where's my hat? They all want like new hats and scarves and like all of this stuff. So it's really cool for that, because you can make a whole bunch like actually pretty quick. Like it doesn't take as much time as like actually like knitting,
Right.
or if you crochet slow.
What is the, what do you think? An hour or less than an hour? I mean, if you're just continuously cranking, can you do them in
For the scarves take the longest. Hats, like I watched like a couple people, like a couple of lives of people, and I did like 5 hats,
Oh, wow.
like
Yeah, that's
in
pretty cool.
maybe like 3 hours or so.
So were you switching colors or were you using pretty much like solid or color changing yarn or
Yes.
you were doing both?
Because with the hats, it's once you cast off, you can put whatever you. I mean, the kind of the gauge that I use, because there's a counter on the Sentro, and I know there's one on the Addy. Um, Kind of anywhere from like uh, 80 rounds to like 120, 130 rounds for an adult, 80 rounds for a kid, a child,
Okay.
approximately. Um, and once you hit that, you cast off, fold it into each other, and tie it off, and you have a hat.
Very
I mean,
cool.
it's actually really simple. Um, it's cool because you can change yarn while you're doing it. I made one. Babe, could you hand me my fishing hat? It's in the yeah. Um, like here's a couple that I did on the Centro. I did this,
Oh, cool.
which is lion brown fisherman's wool on this one,
Uh-huh.
and then the dark color is Malabrigo Rios.
Oh, I love Malabrigo.
So I had I'm always being accused of being bougie, and this is my fishing hat. So that middle piece is Malabrigo, and then it's the lion brown fisherman's wool on the top. So you can like
Uh-huh.
mix and match, and you can do stuff. Um, if it's in here, oh,
I'm just scrolling down through some of the hellos. Sorry that I didn't that we greet people individually, but I'm going to go ahead and kind of scroll down through some of the hellos. And hello, Samantha. She's working on several blankets right now.
hey Suzanne, Diane, Elizabeth, what's going on, everybody?
No, you do not, Samantha.
Yeah, give Rebecca a second. She stepped out.
Oh,
Um, Another one that I actually did, and I was holding. You can even hold like if you use like a DK, you can hold two together and like run them together and make a scarf. I mean, you can do all kinds of stuff. I actually did this one.
very cool.
And I was holding the two colors. I was holding the two colors together.
I like that. Um, Samantha asked how long you've been crocheting for, and you kind of said when we were stuck at home for a year. Is that what?
That's when I started knitting.
Knitting? Okay.
I've been crocheting. I've been crocheting almost a year. Truth be told.
Okay. Yeah. And Samantha says, "Where are you from?"
Oh, we're here in California.
And Sunflower says, "Does Rebecca have a channel?" And yeah, when you're on my channel, Sunflower, it should be dropping. It may or may not have started dropping. We have been live for about 10 minutes, so there we go. In fact, Nightbot dropped
Nightbot just
Matt's
dropped.
channel. Oh, and Suzanne says, "Hi, Matt and Rebecca. How are you two related?"
How are Rebecca and I related? She's my better half.
she's She's his better half. Awesome. Sandra says hello.
Yeah, she's my better half. We've been together 15 years.
Oh, nice. All right. And how did you meet? Like through like
We met at a Starbucks.
at a Starbucks. How cool. That's funny. Suzanne says, how many rows for a scarf?
A scarf is usually 2 to 300.
Okay.
So I mean, you just keep really for the scarves is you just keep cranking as you know because it's all going to come out the bottom, so
Right.
you can actually see the length and kind of gauge it. Kind of gauge it with that when you're first starting with the Sentro or an
Mhm.
Addy. Uh, you can see the length of it and kind of gauge where you're at, and then kind of gauge as far as 200, 300, 350. You can kind of gauge where you want to do the scarves at.
Yeah.
Someone
We
I know there was like with these scarves, they're just basically a tube.
it's just,
So
yeah.
and then you basically sew in the end and close them.
Mhm.
I was actually talking to Fiber Spider, and we were bouncing ideas back and forth, and I'm going to try it after I finish a couple of other projects. Is
Yeah.
making a few two of these tubes and then crocheting them together, like instead of a granny square, using like the tube and making a blanket, which it would be really warm because it would be as thick as it.
Essentially a double knit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's
we were
very
talking
cool. So
about
like
that.
how many
I thought it was pretty cool.
but when you folded, let's say you've got the 48 pin or whatever as an example, you have the big one. But how when you lay it flat, about how wide is each panel? Is it like 6 inches, 8 inches? How wide was that scarf?
Well, the scarf is about 6 inches wide,
Okay.
but you can also um, make panels on the Sentro instead
Okay.
of instead of going like all the way around. You go to one point and then go back, and you just go back and forth, and it'll actually do a panel.
Okay. I was wondering because I was like, gosh, it seems to me like Dawn Yarndall a while back she had, she was doing something with a knitting machine and they'd actually cut a hole so that the table that it was resting on, the tube could just, or the panel could just keep going down. And I was pretty sure that she was doing it like a panel, but I'm like,
Yeah, there's a little switch on the side of the Sentro that
uh-huh.
it goes from circular to panel.
Oh, okay. That's cool. Well, to let
So
everybody
it's about
know, I have a box to unbox, so I'll get to see that myself. But Matt will also hopefully show his. So anyway,
yeah.
let me.
Did you wanna get to yours, and we take a look at
Yeah,
what you got?
I'm just gonna scroll down and kind of click on messages. So just so you guys know, if you're just coming in from Mishi's or from somewhere else, and you are wondering what's going on, we are talking with Matt, the Rock and Crocheter, and his better half, Fiber Jazz Rebecca, who stepped out of the room. But And we are going to be talking about knitting machines like Sentro specifically tonight, because that's what I just picked up. And but other knitting machines and kind of what you can do on them. And hopefully Matt can answer some questions and give us the little tour and get us going. But so I'm going to be clicking on some of the messages. Some of them will be on Matt's channel since he is also streaming. And then some of them will be on mine. But anyway, if you're able to watch on both channels, great. But if not, we appreciate you just watching at least on one. All right.
How you doing, Michi? I just saw her come in.
Oh, hey, Michi. Yes, and Suzanne says 40 pin Centro or 48 pin. I'm pretty sure it's 48. The one that I got.
Mine, I have a 48, and then I have the smaller one.
Yeah. Oh, the Addie King is a 46. Really? Hello, Judy. Hello to all the Raiders.
Hello, everybody. I said hello to a lot of people, and I was in Michi's live for a little bit, so I said hello to a lot of people when I'm there.
Yeah, she was showing a lot of beautiful yarn and hooks as always.
Yeah, she had some. There's a couple of really pretty green. I think they were pearls.
Well, hello, really. Thanks for coming in. Yeah, they were pretty. The multicolored ones and stuff. Awesome.
Sorry, it's a grandkids.
Their grandkids are here. Are actually.
Oh no!
They called me
There's
from
the oldest grandkid has
for
her
the
phone number
for the first
on
time.
His Fitbit.
He's got my phone number for the first time. He's 11 years old, and he's got my number on his Fitbit, and he uses it for any emergencies. And so, because he lives in the Bay Area, and he says, well, I can call my grandma if I need to call her for any time. So
yeah, he's been blowing it up.
Yeah.
That is so cute.
I apologize. And yeah, how is it going?
That was good. We were just talking about the knitting machines. And do you want to do a little introduction about yourself?
Yes. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Some of the. Okay, I'm trying to.
There you go. I love your hair, by the way. Your hair is so pretty.
The motives that I have to pursue the crochet is that my mother crocheted. And I come from a large family of 13 kids. And my mom crocheted for all of us, all our children. And she made a baby blanket for all our kids.
Wow.
And she not only made a baby blanket for our kids, and they were just beautiful blankets. She made them for the kids that were not born yet. And so as she was getting older and she was getting arthritis, she would make them and put them in a box. And she would put them away. And she foresaw, she was 87 when she passed, but she would have boxes put away for those kids that were not born yet, or, some of my siblings that didn't have children yet, or nieces and nephews that didn't have their children yet.
Wow.
And so when she passed away, she had those gifts to give to them. Unbeknownst to me that a lot of my siblings or my nieces and nephews did not carry that trait of crocheting. She taught me a lot of her little things that she did and showed me her work, but I fiddled around with it but I didn't take it serious back then
Mhm.
until I got older. And it wasn't until before COVID I started playing with the crochet and more seriously. And I did. Matt was saying, I had retired, and I said I need to do these blankets, and so I at that time when COVID was around, they were doing these master classes on TV, PBS, for free. I don't know if you remember that. Those master classes were expensive, and I couldn't afford them. But at that time during COVID, they were doing them for free. And I said, I'm going to take that master class. And so they did one on crochet. And I said, I'm going to take that master class. And I did.
That's
And
neat.
and
That's
now she busts them out because she's faster than I am.
No, and it was methodical. It was very methodical. You had to take one class and finish it and take the little test, and then do the next class and finish it. It was quite good. And it was just the basics of crochet, but she was really good. And I was left with wanting more, right? Now where do I go?
right.
And so then I started watching some other YouTubers, I started watching
We started watching Gary.
Gary. We started watching Gary Urban Yarn. We were watching
Fiber Spider.
No, Fiber Spider came on later on, but I started watching some of the older ones.
TL Yarncraft.
TL Yarncraft, and he was watching knitting because he started getting more interested in knitting, but that was later on, about a year or so later on.
But she was making me crazy with the crochet, because I'd be knitting.
He hadn't started
Knitting is a lot slower.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm knitting away, and I have this much done, and she's finishing a project. I was like, what happened? Or I'd be halfway through, and she'd start a project and be done.
Right.
And it's like, I was like, no, this is not.
My hobbies were, I like music. I like my hobbies were, I like jazz. I like R&B. I like famous old jazz singers, like some of the old favorites. So I used to listen to a lot of music, and I was an old gospel singer. I mean, from back in the day. And so, so music was a hobby of mine to listen to. So as I was crocheting, I would also listen to music, or I would listen to it on the TV while I was doing my hobbies.
Well, you all know what music I'm listening to.
And he is the opposite. He is like, heavy metal. But I also
okay.
Oh no, anything. I'm actually, as far as music goes,
but he's eclectic.
I'm very eclectic in what I listen to.
We both are. Mm-hmm.
Anything from classical to Metallica to you name it. I've listened to it.
Andrea Bocelli. Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking it's really neat how you both have, your channel names have music incorporated into it. So that's pretty nice.
Well, mine's kind of a double. Was it a double entendre?
Mm-hmm.
No, because I play guitar, so that's the rocking part.
Mm-hmm.
But I also I work in the granite industry. So
You work in the granite. Okay, so it's like rocking and then rocks.
rock.
Yes,
Like
yes, yes.
not really
Yes.
geology, but yeah, it's
Yes.
a
So
different kind of rock.
it's both. I'm an estimator for a fabrication company, like a stone fabrication company.
Mhm.
Okay.
So it kind of it was we were laughing about it when I came up with the rocking crochet. I was like, that kind of covers everything.
I love it. Yeah, well, thank you everybody for joining us tonight. We've got, lots of people. I've just been kind of clicking on some of the hellos on both
Right,
your channel
that's what I'm looking at.
and my channel. Yeah, and Michi says enjoy those grandbabies, and she also thanked you for membership gifts, I guess, on her channel.
Yeah, I on Michi's I threw in a couple. I gave her a couple of, like, was it 5
Memberships.
memberships?
That's nice. I have a thing that's dropping on my side. If you want Nightbot to drop your channel, you can type the word mindful. And I don't know if you have Nightbot set up on your side for people.
Yes. Yes, we do.
So if people are watching on Matt's channel, and I don't know if that's something that you allow or if that's just something you ask specifically.
I know we were asked on here if Rebecca had like her channel up, and she's kind of doing it with me, so she doesn't actually have her own
I don't
like
have
channel.
my channel
It's
yet.
there. She's got a couple of subscribers, but
I added myself to that list today.
Fine.
I will do that soon, but I'm just getting my feet together.
Yeah, she's getting her feet wet, like being with me on my channel, and it's been fun us doing it together. It's
Yeah.
something fun to do.
Mhm.
We enjoy it.
Sunflower
I
is
think,
asking what you can knit on a machine.
yeah, I saw that, and I was in the back of my head. On a knitting machine, you can do hats, you can do amigurumis, you can do scarves, blankets. Some of the I've seen some of like the knitting machine content creators that do kind of just that have done just some awesome stuff. I mean, on the smaller one, you can do socks. You can do. I made a pair. I made like a pair of socks for her on the small one. I said, "Look, I got socks." And and you can do like mine's not touchscreen, my
Oh,
love.
sorry.
Um, you can
I
do
do
like
that to
a
my
smaller
daughter all
one.
the time.
Would be good for amigurumis,
Yeah.
because you can make those like little you can make tube. I'm always goofing this thing. You can make like you do the scarves, and just make like little balls and feet and stuff. I know that's how they do it, but I haven't tried it.
Yeah, I know. When some people were talking about making their sun bunnies on an Addy or a knitting machine or whatever, I thought, wow, that's very cool. I didn't even think about making amigurumi on a machine.
Yeah, because
Sunflower also asked if you can crochet on a machine, and as of now, there is no crochet machine. That's got to be done by your how many ever fingers you have on your 2 hands.
Someone just asked me if I have a favorite singer or singers for jazz. Some of my favorite old jazz singers are Billie Holiday, Sarah Vaughan, um, and some are some of my old favorite jazz singers. But and of course, but some current ones are like Rochelle Farrell. I don't know if you've heard Rochelle Farrell. And
We went to.
we went to her
She dragged me to a concert
last year or the year before.
a Rochelle
went to her
Farrell concert, and she was amazing.
Of course, I like Gladys Knight.
And Seal.
And Seal. We just went to a Seal concert. And I just like the smooth sound of a female voice with I've been told I have the key of C, the jazz sound of the key of C. Billie Holiday, that's right.
Oh, cool.
And me,
you
I can play guitar, but I can't carry a tune in the bucket. Like to sing, I can't carry a tune in the bucket.
I know. I sing about this much.
Thank you,
I can sing Happy Birthday. That's about it.
I sing in the bathroom. That's about it.
Yeah.
Well, you said that you're one of 13.
That's right. I was right in the middle.
Right in the middle. Wow. Okay.
I'm number 7 out of 13.
Number 7 of 13. Okay. Well, I'm the youngest of 6. And my mom, there was only 4 in her family, but my dad was the youngest of 16. So.
Oh my gosh!
Oh.
Your family understands.
Yeah, my dad just would, tell me about, all growing up like in Philadelphia back in the 30s and 40s.
Mm-hmm.
Being from that, like there was a lot of big families, though. That was
absolutely. Well, what's interesting is that my mother had a brother, but he died at an early age. So she grew up being alone. So the fact that only people who are alone usually had bigger families, and bigger families tended to want smaller children. Yeah, smaller families.
Yeah.
But those times they depended on bigger families to make it through those rough times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, everybody had stuff to do.
That's right. That's right.
And especially if you lived on property, you needed a lot of kids to help with the farming or the animals or the chores around the house and things like that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Gulf Coast Granny says that she is saving now to buy an Addy. I can't knit, but I can turn a handle. That'll be me. I did start to learn to knit, but I put it down like before the holidays, I think, and I haven't picked it back up yet this year.
I mean, and the reason I got to Sentro was that I wanted to try it out to see if I would actually use it.
Mm-hmm.
And the Addy's a little bit of an investment. The Addy's are nice. I haven't gotten to play with one.
Yeah.
But I heard, rave reviews about them.
But we're talking
my Sentro works fine.
Mm-hmm.
3 times it's like 3 times the cost, basically, more than 3 times the cost between a Sentro and an Addy. Basically, the Sentro that I got, I'm about to take it out of the box. I haven't quite finished opening the box yet. Was like $54, but when I was looking at an Addy, I think the least expensive I saw was $169 or it was above $170 or something.
And that was probably the smaller one.
Oh, you know what? I didn't even really look. Once I saw over like the price, then I just was like, okay, well, I know if I'm going to get one, because this is just to dabble, because I crochet, but I think it would be kind of fun to just make a bunch of hats and be able to, like give away hats or donate them before the cold season, you know, before the winter is done.
And we've done that too. Like, you know, we'll whip up a bunch of hats, and there's
Oh, look at the little hats and
those
booties.
were not made on the knitting machine.
I just made that to go with the baby blanket that I just made. I need to
Aw.
make the second booty. It's a booty.
Those are so cute.
Yeah.
Let's see. Would you use the whip stitch to put together each scarf panel? Oh yeah, we should, you know, let's get into it. How about I may have to scroll down because I know I'm behind in the chat, but let me open up my Addie, and then also Matt, if you want, you can swap and start getting like you can go solo. I don't even know. If you click on go solo, can you do that?
Because you're not
Let you do that?
with when you unbox it, there's pieces that you have.
Oh, I was wondering. Yeah, we were talking about that, whether there was some assembly required. I hope not too
Yes,
much.
there
A
is.
lot.
So you can help her.
The assembly, it's not hard. It's just really just putting on the feet and the
Yeah.
tensioner.
Well, that's
I mean,
what I figured it would have to do with maybe just putting feet on. But I was like, I hope they don't expect me to, you know, put this whole thing
You can
together.
help her on the way.
I've taken mine apart. So that's the bad boy.
Mhm.
Let me get that big box off there. Yeah. Woo.
Look, you can help her on the way.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, it's kind of nice. It has pictures on the back of like a pumpkin or a tomato or something.
Yeah, it actually comes with like a little bit of yarn. You can make like little bags, like drawstring bags. You can do all kinds of stuff with it. I mean, as creative as what, like, you know, our community is.
Right.
The sky's the limit. There's like, you know, we have all boys, so it's not like we're, you know, you can make like a little purse or make like a little thing, because it's like, you know, that's
Yeah.
like they want a hat, they want, you know, kind of thing.
Yeah. Dreamy has quite a few knitting machines, but she says her next one is a 40 Sentro, and then that's it for her. Cute. Hello, VT Redneck. I crochet and knit depending on my mood or the weather. Determines what she's working on. Winter is blanket, sweaters, hats, mittens, socks, our warm weather items. Yeah. Hello to Mandy.
So since I've got mine like romper room.
Oh, here, let me make you solo, and you can talk about this while I start to pull mine out of the
I was
box.
going to show you what you're gonna have to put on. Is the legs, because they'll give you all the little screws, and you can see you're gonna screw in those.
Do I need a screwdriver?
And I can't remember if it comes with like a little screwdriver thing, but they're Phillips screwdriver.
Okay.
Phillips screws.
All right.
And then you're gonna put on this little piece, which
Okay.
is this piece is a tensioner for the yarn.
Uh-huh.
And that's kind of about it.
The tape is a little sticky. There we go. All right, let me take you off solo here.
The only thing I don't like about like the smaller, I think the Addy, I don't know if the Addy has one, but the smaller Centros don't have the counter on them.
The smaller Centros don't have what?
At least mine doesn't. It didn't come with a counter.
Oh, okay. This definitely showed the counter on it.
Yeah,
and it
the big
showed it
one,
on
the
box, so
48 pin has the counter. The smaller one does not, which is kind of a pain. So let me show the cast on real quick. While you
Oh
get
yeah,
your-
feel free to swap over your camera.
Here we go.
That's all close for Emmy here. We're waiting to see us. IVD. And hello there.
I'm trying to get technology to work because it's like zoomed in.
Give him a shout out.
Yeah, Faith Louise said music is amazing. Very true. Leslie's Crochet Corner says, very cool, Matt. I worked for a geotechnical firm for 8 years.
Yeah, we do like countertops and showers and like all of that like cool stuff. So we get to actually do a lot of neat stuff. So basically,
Let me just say real quick, thank you, Tank, for the super sticker. And Len the Crafty Cranker's been a member for 5 months. Thanks so much, guys.
so basically you have your Sentro. I'm gonna have to play with the camera real quick. So you have this little piece, which is your tensioner. Let me undo because it's got like the little suction cups on the bottom, you want to do it like on a flat surface because once you start cranking it, it'll move around. So
Oops, sorry. I'm just going to swap this. I'm putting my picture up there so people know that I'm here too, but you've got
oh, that's cool.
oh, sorry, I did it again. I was trying to move me out of the way of the
That's okay. Karma comes back because I think I did that with Michi too.
Oh, well, no worries.
I was playing with the buttons on StreamYard and we were like bouncing around. So,
if you guys feel like it's better to for my picture to be out of the way so that you can see the Addy or the Sentro better, then let me know and I'll just hide myself.
Why don't you stay like that? So then if you have any questions, you can like chime in.
Yeah. Lene says, my kids bought me my Addy after I watched Matt's tutorial. That's fun.
Right on. That's cool.
Oh, there we go. Yes. Now my pic. Oh, I would say when you move it to the right, my picture does not block. Good night, Tank.
So
she's probably already gone. That was like 15 minutes ago. Good night, Samantha.
For socks, the smaller one is better. I think the Addy smaller one would be better for that because the smallest Sentro machine doesn't have a counter, and I believe the Addy one does.
Oh, okay.
So if you're gonna be consistent, like making socks and not having to eyeball it, I think that would actually be better. But I have a smaller one, and I've like used it a couple of times, and it's collected dust. So it says I do most everything on this one.
Gold Coast Brandy said her son loves wool socks, and I'd love to make him some. Are they difficult? Is it difficult to work with wool, or like we didn't really talk about fiber so much about? But what have you found in terms of the types of fiber?
As far as fiber goes, like you saw my this hat.
You had the wool there. Yeah.
This is wool. This is superwashed superwash merino, which is wool.
Uh-huh.
So it worked fine. It worked beautifully with that. So the only one it doesn't like um, is it doesn't like red heart for some odd reason. I have yet to do something and have it come out like actually come out with red heart. It usually like drops stitches, and it's like it comes out a mess. Um, Everything else has been fine. Karen Simply Soft, Malabrigo, Jody Long. Um, Typically for hats for the kids, I use um, I love this yarn from Hobby Lobby,
Uh-huh. Okay.
or like some of the colors from Michaels that and those work really well. I did like this is kind of my like crazy.
Ooh, I like those colors. Gosh,
And
that looks really
this
good.
was this was a scarf I did, and this was um, from Michaels, using Michaels acrylic.
Now that's just like a yarn, that color changing yarn.
Yeah, this was like self striping yarn,
It's
and it
beautiful.
was. Hang on a second. Let me.
Wow. Gulf Coast Granny says her dad is 7 out of 10, mom is 9 out of 12, and I had 7. Wow. But I'm one of 4. Very cool.
Yeah, it's like loops and threads. Is the ones like I've made like that scarf.
Mhm.
It was
I
loops and
love
threads.
loops and threads. Is that facets or?
It's
Yeah.
facets,
Yeah, I love facets.
which it comes out really cool.
It's a
And for
roving style. So that's kind of roving on a little bit roving, right?
yeah,
And it works fine with
and it works
roving.
fine.
Oh, good. That's awesome.
I've made hats, I've made scarves out of it. The kids, like our grandkids, really like them because they're bright colors, and they dig it. Like they like the bright colors.
Hmm.
So I've used like the gray, I've used the green, I've used the red, I've used almost all the color of facets to do stuff. I've also mixed it with ice yarn because I had some Rockstar I wasn't using, and so I mixed like I did a because the area, so it's the Raiders. I did a Raiders hat for a friend of mine, and
Oh,
used
so
and
black
used
and
like the
silver.
the shiny the shiny Rockstar, that gold, the silver, and
Uh-huh.
black. So I made him a Raiders hat. So I mean, you can, um, like I said, the creativity, sky's the limit. You can use pretty much anything. It gets kind of the things that I found it that don't work is cotton because there's no give to it.
Right.
So it binds up the little teeth.
Yeah.
Because I had somebody ask me about it before, and I tried it, and yeah, that was all bad. Um, Acrylics work fine except for Red Heart. I think because the Red Heart's a little too stiff,
Oh, yeah.
and that's why it doesn't. Simply Soft works really well. Uh, Pretty much anything else that it's like a soft, it has a little bit of give to it. Any of I Love This Yarn works really well. So you've got a wide variety. I know for the Addies, Red Heart, even for the Addies, Red Heart doesn't do work so well. But that's
It's
the only
just
one.
from-
That's the only one I've really had problem with.
For those that want to know, the Sentro did come with a little screwdriver, which is great.
Mhm.
So I don't have to go searching for one. Yeah, well, it sounds like you can use a pretty good variety. You just maybe you don't want to use cotton because it doesn't have the same give as like a polyester, acrylic, and some wool with nylon.
Well, what had happened was, um, a yarn creator had asked me to test to see if their cakes would work, which would be Rena.
Uh-huh. Oh, nice. Yeah.
And so I tried to run one of Rena's cakes in the Centro, and yeah, it didn't work. And then I tried
Mm.
Juniper Moon. We had some that was cotton, but it was really soft. And I tried that, and that didn't work so swift. So yeah, the cotton is kind of, the cotton doesn't like the cotton.
One of the things I was wondering about is can I put my cake of yarn or my hank of yarn, I mean, not my hank of yarn, but like my skein of yarn on like a wool genie for it to feed off of that?
Yeah, that's typically what I do, or I'll throw it on the ground. That
Uh-huh.
sounds really bad. That sounds really bad. I know we've all done it. Like whoosh. Yeah. and then
Right?
and then just pull yarn. But I've got right now, I mean, this is ooh. I've got Arena's cake because I'm working on the shawl, but I use this one.
Oh yeah, that's nice. I like the ones that are made from wood. Whoopsie.
Yeah, I've got two of them. I've got that one and I've got a smaller one. And when you're working on these, it does help.
Oh good. Yeah, something to hold the yarn or like a yarn bowl or something.
Yeah. Like because with this, like with at least with the yarn, like these yarn holders, you don't have to try and do it center pull.
Uh-huh.
And when I do like when I didn't have those, I was doing it center pull. So basically I was just kind of, letting it fall, letting it go on the ground. Excuse me. Letting it go on the ground because it's going to dance around because when you're cranking the yarn off of it.
Uh-huh. All right. Well, as I'm screwing my little things on, I'll keep looking, but you want to show us how to feed the yarn into that? And
That's as far as working on one of these, that is the most important. It took me a few hours of not being very happy until I finally figured it out. So I'm going to use this. I love this yarn. I think the color wave is Tin Roof, which really doesn't matter.
yeah, is it like a gray marled or what?
Yeah, it's gray with like little black splotches in it.
Ah, I like that.
I got it as kind of my grandmother used to love Tin Roof ice cream, and I picked this up to make some stuff out of it. I was using it for knitting, and I looked at the name and I'm like, oh geez, Grandma's watching me over my shoulder.
Wants to know if they're loud. It doesn't sound too bad.
No, they're not really loud.
That's as loud as it gets.
Uh-huh.
The only when it does get louder, I bought this. This is the attachment for the Centros
Uh-huh.
to do them electric.
And is that last week you were saying the motor is kind of loud?
Yeah, the motor is kind of loud. So what this does is because here you have your crank, and what it does is this crank piece comes off, and then this piece fits in where the crank was.
Okay.
So, and then you have like a speed control.
Mm-hmm.
It's an on and off and speed control. And then you also have, once it's on the machine, you have a crank to be able to crank it.
Uh-huh.
I just found it to be real clumsy, because if you have, like, if it throws a stitch or something while this is going, you're pretty well messed up. Because it's hard. It's not easy to like correct it once it's been, like, it's halfway down it just, and you have to pay a lot of attention to it. And for me, it was just easier to do it by hand, because I
Uh-huh.
had more control. I have more control over the machine.
Mm-hmm.
But
And how
I mean,
much is how much is that attachment for those
I want
that
to say it
might
was like $15.
not want to hand crank it for hours?
I think it was like 15, 20,
That's
somewhere
not
in there.
bad. Well, I guess when
It
you
wasn't
figure
it wasn't
the
like
whole
it wasn't
Sentro's
like crazy
only,
expensive.
yeah, that doesn't seem too bad. Yeah.
Or I know there's an attachment also for um the for a screwdriver, or like a drill, like an electric drill. So
Yeah.
there's an attachment that fits on the electric drill that will do the same thing.
Uh-huh.
But
Lene says my red heart works okay. I just have to watch the tension.
even when I played with the tension with the red heart, I couldn't. Yeah, it just didn't. My machine just doesn't like it for some odd reason.
Uh-huh.
So I tend to stick with what's worked with me for what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So
So you got some of that gray yarn there. I'm watching.
So basically, to cast on, toss your yarn in the middle.
So you have to leave a long tail.
I tend to, because when I'm doing my hats, this is the part that you're going to use to
Close it up.
to stitch them up. So I tend to leave a little bit longer tail.
Okay.
That's what I found works for me. So you go under the first one, and this isn't the first one. This is actually, like, the first one is here. This is the 48th pin. This is the 47th one, but it tells you like where the beginning is.
Okay.
So you kind of crank that down until it's on the yarn, like until it's brought down. Then you go behind and you just weave it.
Uh-oh.
Basically, you just weave it back and forth like this.
Uh-huh.
I know some people have gotten it to do it just feeding the yarn in it, but it's never worked that way for me. So now when you get back to this first pin, because I use the white one as my first one, then you put it through the line, the yarn holder,
Okay.
and then the little tensioner. The closer it is and the smaller is, the more tension. So I usually use the last one for like a 4-weight and kind of guide it with my hand. And then on the first round, I do it kind of slow.
Yeah, to make sure it's engaged.
Because you can hear it. You can hear it kind of go tong, 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 tong on the first one. But once you get that first one, then it just goes.
All right. Now, do you use waste yarn, or what is waste yarn and things like that?
Okay, for the hats, if I was doing a hat on this one, that's the beginning of the hat. I would just use, I don't use waste yarn on my hats.
Right.
So on the hats, I would just put whatever yarn I wanted to make the hat out of and just keep cranking.
Uh-huh.
So for if you wanted to do a hat, or a scarf, excuse me, I would cast on the same way, do like 5 or 6 rows of what you're going to use, what we're kind of calling as a throwaway yarn.
Okay.
So you're back to your white peg again. And then what you're going to do is you're going to cut it. And I would happen to have could you grab my scissors, babe? No, I put them, they're behind my laptop. No, on the stand. No, by your elbow. I'll use those. See, I got my nifty guitar.
Oh, those are cool scissors.
I got my nifty guitar scissors.
Uh-huh.
So basically you cut off your tail and then you pull that down into the middle. Then what you do is, just because I've been called bougie, there's a little bit of
bougie.
a little bit of Malabrigo.
Well, that is a very pretty colorway.
Yeah, this is Anniversario.
Oh, I have that. Is that what it looks like caked up?
Yeah, this is what it looks like caked up.
Oh, I really need to cake up that.
So what you do is you run this down. So you have both of your ends. You can either tie them or you can like hold it.
Uh-huh.
And then
Garcia was asking, what about hanks of yarn? Can you put like a hank of yarn on a Swift and just feed it from there into the
I'm sure you could if it's coming off of a Swift, but I wouldn't just grab a hank of yarn and just like undo the hank and feed it in there, because
yeah,
you're gonna have an extreme extremely nasty case of yarn barf. So see, so you've cast it on this. You cast it on your primary color of yarn,
Mm-hmm.
and then what you want to do after you get a couple rows is tie this off.
Yeah, and so that you don't have a. Do you cut part of it or just tie it?
Well, at this point, I just tie it off.
Okay.
So that it keeps the stitch. What happens? Let me do a few rows, and then
Len says he cakes up all his yarn first. It's a lot easier in cake form. It is pretty quiet. I'm impressed. I guess I was expecting it to be a little louder.
because like when I do mine, I actually run the yarn through one hand, and then do the kind of tension so I can feel the tension of the yarn.
Mm-hmm.
You may not need to, but it's just I guess I like to have like hands on a lot more than But I know you can run it just through the tensioner and do it that way.
Okay, I'm just getting my last little rubber. What do they call these things?
What's going on, Fluffy?
Hello, Just Fluffy. Bonnie says, I highly recommend caking up your yarn first because if you run into a knot, your project is ruined. It will not accept the knot. Is that correct? Wow.
I've actually put knots in stuff, and it's been fine. I haven't done any problems. I haven't had any problems with it.
Do you, when you come across a knot, do you like undo it and redo it to make sure it's a secure knot, or do you just sort of, what do you do with your knots? Like,
when I'm, and this comes from,
She said she'll be looking, she's gonna check on her daughter.
getting these little rubber suction cups on is actually harder than screwing the things on.
the little rubber feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's to hold it in place, because if you don't have
I know
those,
it's getting them on it's harder than screwing the screw in was.
yes, they are. So let's say I'll show the knot that I use, and I know other people know it as a different name. I know it. I know it as a double uni knot, because I used it in fishing, and it was a knot my grandfather taught me to tie, a long time ago, and that's the one I used to put yarn together with.
Mm-hmm.
So let me find the center pool. So let's say where we cut the Malabrigo.
Oh wow.
Because you can see how it's like where it's coming out pretty.
Wow, it is so pretty. I love that anniversario.
Yeah, it's a really good color. So the way, sorry with jostling all the camera and stuff around. So you have your line your line. Now I'm thinking fishing. You have your yarn that's feeding into the machine, and then let's say you want to change colors. So what I do is basically make an overhand knot. And like I said, I think they call it something else for in the yarning community, but make an overhand knot here,
Oh, right. Yeah.
and then you make another overhand knot here. So then you have the two knots, and then all you do is just pull them together. Oh, this is Yuki yarn.
Oh, it's not holding.
No, the yarn itself is like it's that facets,
Oh, okay.
and it's like there we go.
Uh,
The end of it was like pulling out.
uh-huh.
So let's try this again.
The strength of the yarn wasn't good. Is facets just like a one ply roving?
I think so.
Uh, the red heart only works on the Addy, somebody says. And Bonnie says, I can knit a hat with a brim in 30 minutes.
So the second overhand knot. Come on.
And Len says, changing colors is tricky.
Actually, it's easy when I'm not under the gun.
Rebecca says,
So-
lurkers are welcome.
So basically, so you have your two knots, and I like this one because when you pull it together, it tightens upon itself.
Right.
So it's not gonna come undone.
Right. And then what do you do with do you leave those long ends and then just sort of manipulate them, or
No,
you trim them down?
I trim them down.
Okay. Lene says you're doing a great job, Matt.
I'm probably gonna get boos and hisses and
No. Most of the
but-
time, though, you don't want tension on the yarn coming into the machine, so I would cake the hanks first. Yeah.
So now that you've got your like the knot made,
Yeah.
then just feed it in.
Boy, these suction cups really suction. Wow.
Yes, they do. But it's cool because they hold down the machine from bouncing around all over the place.
Okay, so now I'm
So
just
now
tension her on real quick.
now we changed the colors. Now you can see the orange start to feed onto into the machine.
Okay, oops, I need to see which way I put this tensioner on.
It's underneath the front where it says Sentro.
Yeah, but I have to see which side is down and which side is up.
The side with the little pluggy bouncy thing is up.
Wait, here, look at my, oh, I'll just look at the picture while you keep going. Oh, wait, there we go.
See this piece? That's up. So it's got that little like spring piece on it.
Mine, oh, okay, wait. Yeah, I'm seeing it now. Wait,
Yeah, so that goes on the top.
okay, got it.
So basically, you just keep cranking. This is about where I start listening to a little Pink Floyd and put my earbuds in and kind of go for it. See, it actually works really easily. There's not that much noise to it. It's not like with the drill or the motor, it like triples the like it makes it loud. That's like you can hear like this whizzing like noise to it.
Uh-huh.
But see, there you have. So you have the switch.
Oh, wow. That's so cool.
So I've switched colors. I had that knot. If I have a knot actually like yarn barf knot thing, then because I have my hand on it,
Mm-hmm.
I'll like take care of it right then, and then just keep going. If I have to, if it's bad enough and you have to like cut it, you just cut off that little piece and just keep going.
Uh-huh. Suzanne Fenton asks, Matt, what about having the balls on the outside of the machine to use the machine?
What?
Says, I put it up on screen. What about having the balls on the outside of the machine?
Yeah, like as I'm doing this, the ball is on the floor.
Yeah, yeah. There we go. And
Like
Sunflowers,
if it's a skein, like I have stuff on my yarn holders. I have stuff that I'm working on with those,
uh-huh.
but because we're just doing a demonstration, it's it's just as easy to toss it on the floor, like let it go on the floor.
Bummer. I won't be able to have mine in front of me because my little desk surface isn't wide enough, but that's okay.
So you got yours all together?
Yes, I've got it all put together now, finally. But I have a little tray next to me, so I'll just stick it on the tray right there. Okay, Suzanne, your yarn ball cake skein has to feed from the outside. Yeah. And JB's Amber called it a magic knot.
Oh, like I said, I know it from fishing as a double uni. But
Yeah.
I think it is. I think I've heard somebody call it a magic knot.
Mm-hmm.
But I like that knot. I've never had it fail.
Yeah. Yeah. Amber says my Addie doesn't like red heart. So some people are saying red heart yes, some are saying red heart no. I'd say if you have a knitting machine, give it a try. If you like to use red heart, that is, and then yeah, if it works for you, that's awesome.
I know I love this yarn. Works really well. The loops and threads, Lion Brand. Yeah, I've never had a problem. Sorry, I'm messing around with my crochet needle.
Oh, I like that hook there.
Which one?
This one? Probably a furls hook.
This
the
one?
The multicolored one that is green. No, it's still in the
Oh
bin.
yeah, it is. This one's my Odyssey.
Odyssey, okay.
This one?
Oh yeah, that's so pretty.
Yeah, this is a Furls
and it's
Borealis.
A good size.
And then I have one that I got from Michi, which is a Fire one.
Oh, very, yeah, those are both very nice hooks. Yeah. What do you feel about the weight of those? You probably
What?
don't care about like the weight of a hook. For me, I have to use lightweight.
Um, the ones, I mean, I've used the O-Fire one, but it's a little small. Like, I think it feels like I'm gonna like break it.
Yeah. I, Suzanne
So
wants to know, are
typically,
there
I
other?
use these are the ones that I use.
Uh-huh.
These are the Furls Streamlines.
That's nice.
So I've got 3 of 4, excuse me, of the larger ones, and then my two. This is E, and I want to say G plus. Yeah, G plus and E are the red.
Nice.
So when I kind of look at my hooks, I'm like, okay, the smaller ones are the red ones. Color coded.
Yeah. Other types of stitches that you can do besides just like a regular knit stitch?
Yes, there is. Um, but it you have to pull. What you're doing is pulling these stitches as you're going around.
Uh-huh.
So you're changing the order of like these stitches as it's going around.
Uh-huh. So like if you could you do a ribbed stitch or
I know there's quite a few stitches. I
mm-hmm.
haven't played with it
Yeah.
for that. I did one time and I got a big mess. So
Yeah.
it's like but I know there is a way. Like you take it off of the little off of the little where the hook is, and then you move it. Like you move it, you can move it to the next one or move it around or drop it and go around and like pull it back over. So there's ways of doing it, but as far as like speed wise, the the regular knit stitches, you know.
Just
But if you, like I said, if you want to play around with it,
mm-hmm.
there is a way. I was watching somebody do it, and I was like, no.
Yeah, Lene says there are other stitches. I tried a few, but I'm still learning. I watched a lot of YouTube tutorials.
Yeah, because once you take one of these bad boys off, that whole line, like when you actually miss a stitch, if that falls, that's where you when you lose the stitches when it comes off of here, and
Uh-huh.
it'll pull all the way down.
Yeah.
So you have to go back in and thread it through, you know, back and forth through each stitch to put that stitch back onto here.
Mm-hmm.
And
Now
that's how they create the other stitches.
let's say you decide, okay, because somebody's Maureen is asking, what are you making? So like if you're just playing around and you're like you don't want to keep this work, how do you take it apart? Like can you just prog it?
Yeah. I was gonna show that how to cast off, but it's 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 you kind of see it works the same way to frog something.
Uh-huh.
If you're gonna frog this, basically you cut the yarn
Mm-hmm.
and just keep cranking, and it comes right off of the hooks.
Okay. Yeah.
And then you
A
can
couple,
and then you can actually frog the yarn.
yeah. So are you actually going to keep what you're making here? Or
No, I'm just doing this for demonstration.
right,
I was
there you
going to
go. I
show the
figured
cast.
you were, but I just wanted to clarify since somebody asked what you're making.
Oh, I'm not making. I'm making a mess.
He's just putting a bunch of yarn together and creating, yarn
Whatever.
scraps out of bougie yarn.
So basically, when you cast off, so I'll start from here. Usually, I start from the beginning. So you very gently, actually, I'll put it through here.
You sort of take it out of the feed, or
So I really like these. I got these at a yarn shop, and I really like them.
Because it's
They
got
look
like
really
a
well.
little nylon loop or something.
Yeah, it's got like a little loop on it, but it's
But it's
metal.
metal. That's nice.
My last twisted, I forgot to put scrap yarn at the end.
Maureen says, "Red heart, no."
So
there we go. Do you put Sunflower is asking? Do you put a stitch marker to know where you've started?
no, the stitch marker is the hook. That's why it has a white hook. There's one white hook in here, and that's where you that's what you use as kind of a stitch marker. So now that you've got the first one on, you can, and because it's not taking any yarn now,
Right.
so then you just go in and pick that off of the needle, and then, oop, come on.
So you turn it a little bit first.
And then pick the next, see how it's taking it off of these. So you have that, and then you just keep.
So you're taking them off the same way and feeding them onto your
So what
needle.
you're doing is feeding
the
tail
yarn.
that you've cut off through. You're pulling the stitches off.
Okay.
So basically, you just keep going around
Okay.
and keep
Oh,
pulling.
I did not realize you had to like do it with a needle there. I thought maybe they just came off once you.
Oh, if you crank this thing, it'll come off, but it's not going to be the way you would like it to come off.
Right. It can unravel.
Yeah, it's going to all unravel.
Yeah. Right.
And that's how, like, if you have to frog something, that's how you do it. You
Right.
just cut the yarn and just crank, and it will actually take itself off of the machine.
Okay. So this seems pretty easy process. You're getting the needle under there really easily. I thought it might be more of a challenge.
No. It actually comes off really easily. It's not like any crazy. And I've done it quite a few times. I've made quite a few like hats and scarves and stuff. So I've had a little. The main thing is to get it all the needle all the way underneath.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. And then as you go, pull it through.
Right. Yes, Marilyn says all of the machines have their own quirks with yarn.
Yeah, they're all from what I've like. I did a little demonstration on my channel, and they're all kind of a little quirky unto themselves. Each machine, like whether it be an Addy or a Sentro, for lack of a better term, has its own personality.
Yeah.
So are they?
Yes, Bonnie says they sure do, Marilyn. And then Lene recommends Suzanne Koala Knits and Knots. but there are others too.
I know my Sentro has been worth the money because, like I said, we've made tons of hats and stuff, and like, let's say you need something, like, let's
Isn't
say
that funny if you haven't
you're
already
having a
left?
guest or somebody come over, and you want to give them like a little handmade like hat or scarf or something.
Uh-huh.
You can whip out a scarf like really fast and like, you know, kind of
Like,
get,
oh my
give
gosh,
it to them
a
and
last minute gift. Yeah, a last minute handmade item, right? Sort
or
of
even
handmade.
or even like donations. If you're donating like hats and stuff, it makes it easy to do like a whole bunch of them all in one shot.
Yeah.
So basically, when you
My
do
last
the
headband, I forgot
hats,
to put my scrap yarn on the end. Oh wow, that is so pretty. That facets yarn just works up really nice.
Did she do one?
that's what I'm
Looks like a
saying. It
sunset.
works out really well.
Yeah.
So what you're gonna do is when you're doing a hat, you cinch this end down because you're gonna have a tube, and
Uh-huh.
then you turn like where this is. If this wasn't throwaway yarn,
Yeah.
basically you just bring it through. See how you're turning this in.
Oh, uh-huh.
So all you're doing is it's harder on the little one, but basically you're just turning this in, pulling
Well, that
your
could be like a headband
like
or maybe not.
threads up out the top of it.
Okay.
Because what it's going to do is if you don't put the throwaway on here,
Yeah.
the end will tighten up. The end will tighten up like this one does. See how it tightened up?
Oh, okay.
So you don't use the throwaway yarn when you're making a hat because you want it to close both ends. So you put it underneath. Do we have you can where's my hat? Because you can
A nice
see
hat and scarf with a
on this
3
one, you can actually like see, yes, there's the edge, but there's two separate, there's an inside and an outside.
It's doubled.
Right.
So if I wanted to wear it with the Malabrigo on the inside, I can do that. If I want to do have the with the Malabrigo on the outside, just roll it out. But it all, there's two layers underneath here.
Uh-huh. So that's either tucked in or the other side is.
So it's the other side is tucked in and then pull through. You can see where there's like right here. There's a string where I pulled it close and pulled it through.
Oh, okay.
And then you can, if you wanted to tie like a pom pom or something on it, you can put a pom pom on there.
Right.
So when you have your mess,
Yeah, just
so when you have your throwaway yarn,
yeah.
what you're gonna do is for a scarf, you're gonna put throwaway yarn on this side and throwaway yarn on this side. So once you get the length of the scarf, you duplicate the process of putting this yarn on this. You tie the knot and do like 5 rows and then cast it off. So you have both ends of your tube.
Yeah.
Will have this throwaway
At the
yarn.
waist. Okay.
So
And
then
then,
what you
uh-huh. This is where my question is.
do, huh?
That's where my question is.
So basically what you do with your throwaway yarn,
Yeah.
let me throw away some of this. You can see the stitches. You want to do like a really contrasting color because this is really close to the Malabrigo. It's got the grays in it.
Yeah.
So basically you want to even the stitches this way. And then you go through, see there's your first stitch, and then you go through zigzag back and forth between the stitches. So your stitches are even like this. And then just go through the stitches. And then what you're going to do is make a couple of cuts, and then this will come off.
You're not on camera.
Yes, I am. This throwaway yarn will come off.
Yeah.
And then what you'll, that's kind of raggedy.
So you're taking an
So
end.
basically
and-
what you'll end up with is this.
You're not on camera.
Yes, I am. I'm right there. So what you'll have is basically this.
Huh.
So see, you just go through.
Here you go.
You're going through both sides and sealing it off, and then
And
you can
just sealing it
remove,
off.
then you remove the waste yarn once it's
Yep.
together.
Because once you seal it and tie it, and you cut the waste yarn, it just comes right off.
Yeah.
So it makes
There's
it
all live stitches
actually
that you
pretty
don't
easy.
thread the yarn through. Yeah, live stitches, which can be scary because they'll come undone.
And then like what you can do, which I haven't done like on this one, is you can put like fringe, and that if you have any mistakes across here, which I kind of tend to do because I'm not the best sewer,
Uh-huh.
you can put like fringe and stuff like the across here, and it hides. See, like I have a boo boo on that side.
Yeah.
But it hides all of that. So it makes it come out cleaner. But if you're a better stitcher than I am, yours may come out like, really clean.
Yeah. Yeah. Tammy asked, so are they worth the money? And I would say,
If you're doing even like with us with 5 grandkids, it's worth it because we make a lot of hats during the winter and stuff, and if you're making hats for like a charity, it's really simple. I mean, you can
Yeah.
crank out a lot of them for like a charity thing.
Mhm.
So it was worth it. I mean, we use it all the time. I mean, not all the time, but we use it quite a bit.
Yeah.
And what I was going to show you is this is the
Kathy.
huh? So
Lene says I use a crochet hook.
that might actually work better than trying to seam it. I'll have to try that.
Yeah.
So
Susanna says, I am late. I was browsing and saw you both live. Hello. I use a crochet hook to pull each side and crochet it shut.
I want to get one.
They're actually kind of fun. I mean, I've had
Are
a
you
lot of
putting
fun
the
with
facets
mine.
back on there now?
So let me throw on a couple. So you can hear it, and you can hear it change when it'll smooth out.
After a couple of rounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, Susanna says thank you, and she wants to get one.
They're fun. I mean, I've done, like I said, I haven't really taken a deep dive in all the stuff that you can do with it,
Yeah,
because I've got a lot on my hook,
yeah. Hello, Janice.
so to speak. But it's kind of a cool, like, I've made hats for like people at work. I've made like for the grandkids. I've made scarves. So, like what you were asking about, Mara, let's say you get to this point and this is what it's going to look like when you like you drop the stitch, where did I do it? So
I was like, wait, I'm still seeing yarn go in. And it once you drop a stitch, it doesn't pick it back up, or does it?
oh, you're making a liar out of me. What usually happens is when it drops off,
Would you have to
see
take
like
more than
this one,
Yeah.
like this one, you can see that the yarn has dropped off. See the way the stitch is kind of funky.
I'm trying to see that it's funky, but yeah, it's like narrower than the rest, or
Yeah, because see, these are over around these, and this is like stuck in with the hook.
oh,
See, there's let's do this. That's the worst one. See where the big hole is?
right.
And you crank, see how it came off?
Okay. Yeah.
So you're like saying a few wonderful words.
Oh man, I could imagine
all you have to do
happens.
all you have to do is just cut that end off.
Oh yeah, it's mindfully crocheted.
And then see,
I'm not sure if Matt or Rebecca can put my channel over on Matt's channel or not, but yeah, we're just co-streaming.
do you want to put Myra's channel on our?
Let's see. It's
So see, and then once it just comes off, it's just like that.
Right. Now, will it be knotted, or will you be able to frog it fairly easily?
No, you just find the right hand and see.
Oh, right. Do I type a word on your channel? Because I have your live pulled up.
let's see.
So see, it just comes right off.
Yeah, it does.
Fully
Uh-huh.
crochet.
Yeah, if you have a word to type, I can type it on your
Yeah, I
side.
believe it's channel.
You just type channel.
Yep.
See if I spelled it right. Okay.
Did it do it? Because I know we played with it. We played with it that one time. So yes, it does. Yes, it does frog pretty easily.
Well, anyway, that's I typed in the word channel over on Matt's channel, but I don't think it did anything, which is fine. But you can see the spelling of my channel name if
Go
you want.
to Mara's site. Here, I got it.
Okay.
No worries.
Nah, I gotta hook you out, Mara.
Oh, I was gonna say, I think
You're the best.
if you type it right into your thing, it'll anyway. It'll drop it over there. It'll drop it on both sides. I'm finally getting to the bottom of my cup of tea.
Yeah, I
Tonight-
had some cafe bustelo this morning, and
Oh.
that keeps me going.
I've only been having, well, I say only, but I have an espresso machine. So I have a cup of coffee and I put a shot of espresso in it. My friend told me that's called a shot in the dark, but then I put half and half in there. And ever since I got sick a couple weeks ago, once I finally decided I could stomach coffee again, then I've just reduced my caffeine. But all day I wanted a second cup of coffee today, and I never. I decided I'm just gonna have some tea instead, caffeine free.
That's funny. When I get sick, I don't want the coffee.
Yeah, well, yeah, with
Like
the coffee,
I don't.
I didn't
It's
want
like
coffee either. Yeah. Susanna says, Nightbot, can you share Mara's channel link? That's funny. Yeah, I think if you just type in the search bar mindfully space crocheted, it should come up. But anyway, but that's really cool. I'm excited to
Did it drop your channel, Mara?
no, I don't see anything, but that's okay.
No, it's not.
Done. HTTP YouTube.com channel. Okay.
No
Did
problem.
you get it?
Hold on a minute.
So let me actually switch back for a second because I can do it really quick on my laptop. Yeah, and over a while these actually get loose. There's this one that has gotten loose and it just pops off every once in a while.
Oh, do they? Here, I'm going to change the background so that at the end of the live, it'll just be the blue background. But, there we go. Well, that was very cool. I'm very excited that I got mine put together. It's right here. I think you can see it. Maybe I'll switch the layout back to that. Swap sides. There we go. There you are.
There he is.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah, it's the biggest thing is that cast on. It's like it's crazy. Once you get the cast on done, It's all good.
Yeah. Yeah. So if, let's just say I'm only going to make hats on this, you know, potentially. Then, oh, thank you, Rebecca. I see that the link dropped over there.
I had to look at the format.
And I got to change the word.
Oh, wait, let's see.
Thank you for reminding me I have to change the word in StreamYard.
Oh, I'm not sure that it brings it up, but when I clicked on it, but that's okay.
Did it bring it up?
Yeah.
No, when I click on it, it doesn't go there, but hopefully, Susanna, let us know if you found it. No big deal if not. Yeah, okay, so let me pull this off and show you. Does that look, woo, does that look correct?
Oh. Hang on.
Oh, okay.
I was looking.
I just had to find the format.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, Mara.
What was that?
No, this is what it looks like.
Oh, I think I have it. Wait, I might have it wrong.
Because the two little ends squeeze in, and it just pops in there.
Well, yeah. So here, like,
Yeah, no, you have it wrong.
okay. I was like, wait a minute. I don't think
Squeeze in the
mine
two
looks like
little.
yours.
Squeeze in the two little ends on each side, and it slips into that little. Thank you, Janice. I appreciate the subscription. Where? Hang on. I don't know, Mara. That sounds like you're working too hard.
I'm like, well, how do I get it off now that I've got it on wrong?
Let's see.
I'm gonna start sweating here. My tea made me too warm. I'm afraid I'm gonna break it. What happens if I can't get it back off?
I'll send you another one.
No. Oh my goodness.
No, I will, because I've actually got an extra one. So don't worry. So don't worry about breaking it. And once you get yours, like the people that have gotten them, what you can do is I took mine apart because I do what I do.
You got like
And
that. Yeah.
and so I took it apart and like put there's like a grease that goes in it, and it's like it's like one that doesn't eat plastic. And so you just and they have tutorials on how to take the thing apart.
I'm afraid I'm gonna like hurt myself. Do not use scissors as a tool, even if you're pointing them away. We don't need to see Mara like cut any part.
Impale herself on the
Or slice like mess something up. I'm not going to mess something up. I'm going to see if some pliers or something will give me a good grip to try to swap it out. But
oh no, just take it and push both sides in. Like it makes like a upside down U.
I can't get it to like pinch.
Nah, yours should actually be in right because there's only one way to do it.
There's only one way to do it.
Yeah. See, there's
okay. Well, show me yours again. Show me
this
how.
little piece, and then you just slide it in.
Yeah, no impalements, please. Yeah, I'm with you. No, mine is literally upside down.
Unless you figured out a way to stick it in
the holes were the same size.
Oh, and this switch.
Oh, yeah.
Up is for panels, down is for circular.
Okay, yeah. Oh, so maybe they put T for tube, P for panel. Yeah. Hello, Beth.
Oh, are you on our channel, babe?
Yeah.
Yeah, she is. She said, "Welcome to Rebecca." I mean to Beth. Hmm. Hmm.
Did you get it, Ma?
So no, I mean this is how mine looks. And so you're saying that the other side with the smaller piece that sticks out is supposed to be facing
This
out?
is a little different than mine. Is yours the 46, the 40?
Might be a newer version.
Yeah, maybe a newer version than the one that I have.
Well, it doesn't exactly say how many pins, but that's for ages 8 and up. So no, it's 48. Knitting machine 48 for adults or kids. Yeah. But the thing about it is that doesn't it just have to be attached so that you can feed yarn into one of the holes?
Well, what that does is it's like a tensioner thing.
Uh-huh.
So like a 4-weight you want to put on that first hole. A DK is the next hole in, and then the last hole would be a smaller than a DK.
When it comes to assembly, they don't really show you they don't show you a close-up of putting that piece on. At least not in this right here.
No, the book isn't the greatest.
So I would need to like take a picture with my phone and then zoom in to see how they have it. And if it looks like mine, then I'm going to leave it. Otherwise, I'll just wait.
Because yours, because I have what? How long have I had mine, my love?
About a year,
No, I've had it longer than a year.
2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
just
I've had it.
nothing- nothing is asking
I've
if
had
you
it
can
like
show the
a
front of
couple
your
of
machine
years,
again.
so
Yeah.
it could be that it's just the newer one.
Yeah. You want to hold yours up to show the front of it again? Every time I set mine down on the table, oh yeah, your
It
piece
sticks.
comes, it's like yours is sticking out perpendicular. Yeah, mine is definitely the opposite. I got it the opposite side.
It's on the opposite side.
I mean, my little tensioner looks like yours on the other side.
Yeah, because it should be in line with this.
Yeah. Yes, I put it on upside down. So I will definitely see if I can remove it and put it on right side up. Oopsie.
On here, you should just be able to like it
Yeah.
makes like in here, just squeeze it.
Well,
You should be able to squeeze those two, and it pops right out.
yeah. I've got a tool. I'll give them a try. Well, thank you
And
so
like
much for coming tonight and showing that.
And like I said, Mara, if you do break it, send me an email and I'll send you another one.
No,
No, honestly, I've got I kept a couple of like spare parts. I ordered them you can order them on Amazon. They're like $6 or something.
Yeah. I'm
For
sure
two of them.
I'm gonna be very careful. I'm gonna try to squeeze the little things together and take it out. Flip it over the
I
other
was
way.
very careful too, and I broke it. So I've broken one.
Don't use the word break, please. Yeah,
Or
it'll
like
be fine. I'm sure of it.
on Christmas Story, it's fragile.
Fragile.
It's Italian.
Fragile. Oh yeah, that's funny. Yeah. Well, thanks again for joining me. That was so much fun. And Rebecca, it was good to see you also again. I'll say I have my live. Yeah. I have my live stream set up to redirect people over to sifting some soil with and more with Mona. So if anybody is still up for hanging out longer, and
we
I'm
love
sure
it.
Yeah,
you turned us on to that group. And
yes,
we love
we've
them.
subscribed
We've been
to
watching them.
They're a kick in the head.
Yeah. So they
Mona's a kick in the head.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, after my live ends, it'll automatically redirect you over. But if you are on Matt's channel and you would like to go over there, it's Mona's channel name is called Sifting Some Soil and More. And actually, if I type in Mona on mine, so I don't know if anybody wants to come over and get her channel link. I think if I just type Mona, it'll drop her channel. But YouTube will redirect you directly there. And I'm going to go ahead and play my outro. Hopefully you don't mind over there on your channel, Matt. And then we will end things.
No. And thank you, Mara, for having us. It's been a blast.
I should have had you share, like, you usually go live on Thursdays, right? You have a regular live on Thursdays. So make sure to go over and check Matt out. And then sometimes do you pop up on other days, or you go on to other?
We
It
don't,
depends on who like this. I think next week I'm going to be on Fiber Floozy. We're doing something with Fiber Floozy on Thursday.
we don't.
Yeah, I already
Fiber, that's
talked
right.
to Jill.
Jill, yeah.
And so it's sometimes I'm on Russ's, sometimes
Mhm.
it just depends on.
We'd also like to give Gulf Coast Granny a shout out. We
We were on hers last night.
That's right. And
So we're kind of
Making the rounds. You're making
we're
the
kind of
rounds.
all over the place.
that's
Yeah,
right.
that's good. Well, we'll look forward to seeing you again soon. Everybody
But
have
yeah,
a great
Thursday
day.
will be my life.
Awesome. Yeah. And what time is that? Like Pacific time?
Oh, it's 6 PST.
Okay.
It's 6 o'clock Pacific Standard.
All right. That sounds good. Well, we'll look forward to seeing you then. Take care.
Thank you, Mara.
Thank you.
Okay, bye. Have a great night, everybody. Thanks for joining us.